Hello, welcome to another episode of Somewhere Between a Film and TV podcast. We are your hosts. I am Daniel Parra.
And I'm Erwin.
And we're currently trapping you into listening and watching us.
I didn't like that whatsoever.
So, thank you so much. Hopefully, you
It's a trap!
You didn't click out of the video right after I said that. They're like,
I think I clicked it.
What we like to do here is we like to review movies.
Sadly.
And TV shows.
Happily.
And occasionally we'll get off topic, but then we will circle back around. Everything we review has full spoilers, always, all the time.
I do have to remind myself to
what?
To remind myself to we're talking about a movie each time.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like whenever we get off topic.
Oh yeah, you're like, I was just talking to each other.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh wait, we're
You trapped me in a conversation with you.
Like right now, we're reporting about the movie.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Guys, like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh yeah, Erwin, what are they gonna do?
I already said it. Shyamalan.
What do you think of him? I want to know.
I never met him.
I ask you all the time what you think of directors' work.
Yes.
This one in particular is kind of hard to explain.
Not really.
But what do you think of him overall and individually?
I think he's good.
Yeah.
He's a great director and writer. You can definitely see that he actually puts in... I say he definitely has passion for movies.
Yeah.
Especially the movies that are really good from his work.
And you can feel that for sure.
Yes, exactly. And, of course, his other movies, they don't... Depending on which movies, but... Overall, I think he's a really good director.
Yeah.
And sometimes writer as well.
He has had a varied career for sure. I remember last year we saw Knock at the Cabin, and I really liked it, but then the ending I thought fell flat because he has this thing for twists. It's well known, although this one to me didn't really have one.
Right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but aside from him getting away with everything over and over, and I was like, I don't know if that's the twist, but I just felt like every 10 minutes.
Honestly, I thought the twist, or I'm just going to get into it, because I thought the twist was, because they kept mentioning a lot of times, this serial killer has a profile, they have certain tendencies, especially him.
Yeah.
And they kept mentioning about his OCD.
Right, and you can even see that early on.
And they do little things where it's what he does. Even when he's about to do something terrible, he has to do something else first.
Are you talking about the tennis racket thing? I thought it was really clever. Whenever
it's just everything, him fixing the bike up, but then also that, or it's just him cleaning the dishes, putting it up. Oh, right. All that before he actually escapes.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. But it made me think. I was like, if he's so particular in what he's doing and knows what he's doing and being well known about his surroundings, how did they find the receipt? Even himself, he's like, how?
Because he wouldn't have done that. Yeah.
Yes. And so I felt like the twist was, I guess, the wife being the one that outed him.
Yeah.
That's where I was thinking. I was like, that was the twist? Because everything else, it just felt very it kept exploring more and more.
To me, maybe it's because this movie felt so straightforward in what it was doing that I kept thinking, I'm like, okay, when's the pan over to what's actually been going on the whole time? And
he sees murders.
Yeah, no, he was like, oh, people had theories that it was gonna be his daughter, or the one that I kept thinking while I was watching the movie is,
his daughter was the murderer the entire time.
You hadn't heard that? People kept theorizing that.
Oh, I can't.
The only one that I'd had was during the movie. I thought this really amped up the tension, and we haven't even fully gotten into what we thought of this movie yet, because I know that the third act of this makes or breaks it for some people. Yes. Is whenever...
majority of people, when they finish a movie, they remember the last third act. So.
And we talked about this. He writes dialogue super weird. And
sometimes,
I'm actually a fan of it because people are like, he's a bad writer. I'm like, I don't think that he is. I think that everything he does is intentional and by design. And I actually read an interview with him today talking about how the dialogue is heightened because Josh Hartnett's character is a psychopath in this. And he said the choice for the camera stuff, which I want to get into later because it's very direct, is that very specifically, like I told you, my favorite side character in this was Jamie, played by Jonathan Langdon, the t-shirt seller guy. And they were like, you can tell that he's putting on this fake nice persona, and he gets so, like, he described it as just being an interrogator. And when he's acting that intense, it feels heightened. So if it's from his perspective, I think his reasoning, and it makes sense because other movies sometimes struggle to come up with a reason for his dialogue. Like, I loved Old. I'll defend Old.
Yeah, I haven't seen Old.
Okay. And some of that is super weird, and there was an in-logic explanation for the characters to talk weird because some of them were kids stuck in adult bodies.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's a great idea because you're like, why are they speaking like so infantile? It's a great explanation. But I understand if people find him as a filmmaker too weird sometimes, because I know
it doesn't sound weird. It actually sounds like he actually puts some thought into how he wants the characters to be portrayed as.
No, and it's something I really admire about him is I've always felt like it's never, people call it some of it bad, but it's never ever bad by design. I think it's just, it is a style choice.
Yes. And
you're either on board with that or you are not. So, fully backtracking to this, Erwin, with this movie, did you love it?
Sorry, it's just, it never
did
gets old.
Hate it? Or
oh wait, old.
Are you?
You like that, huh?
That was a sign.
Lady in water.
I don't know. I'm split on it.
Oh, okay. Knock at the cabin.
Somebody knock. I have a sixth sense about these things. So,
okay.
Or are you somewhere between?
I'm
Last Airbender. What'd you think of it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the reason why I thought it was really good because I love the premise.
The premise is incredible.
It's been a while since I've seen a movie where just the idea alone.
Sorry. You said it been a while.
No, I heard you. I heard you. The idea itself just sold me, and I was just ready to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And the way that it was executed, especially like the first, just the entire time where he's in the arena, because I didn't know.
Right.
I thought this whole movie was going to be at the arena the entire time until
so too.
Like the last 10 or 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Right? But everything in the arena itself, I thought I was there. Like I was just watching the entire thing and I was just immersed by what was going on and like wondering, because it made me, I was like, I understand he's a serial killer, but at the same time I'm like, I want him to get out.
No,
right? It got that.
It's a
weird.
really difficult balance to pull off.
Yes.
That the person you're following around is a sociopath, a psychopath, has every kind of issue checked off the box.
Yes.
And the moment where it's like the douchiest, there's two moments in this that are like the douchiest thing you can do. And they made me bust out laughing because this movie does have a sense of humor.
Yes.
If you're laughing and you think that you're like, oh, this movie's bad, and like the sense of humor is there. It's so willingly like, it wants you to embrace the kind of absurdity of what's going on. I laughed so hard when he just shoves that woman down the stairs.
That was funny to you?
It was really funny. And then the other one where I was like, that is insane, was whenever he walks up to M. Night Shyamalan and he's like, my daughter has leukemia. And then like, I was like, that's crazy. And I loved a lot about it, but there's some stuff in the third act that like makes it a little worse for me, but I thought this was really good.
I thought the transition from where after he escapes from the arena to the house, that's where it, to me, felt like it lost me for a bit.
Yeah.
Just because it felt like, I guess, I don't know if it was just because of me as the audience, just like wondering, it's like, where is this movie going now?
Yeah.
Because it just felt like it was sold to me just like the arena itself. And so the moment he actually escaped, but it wasn't until the performer, I'm blanking on her name, Lady
Raven, and I don't remember his daughter's actual name, but
it's right here.
Oh, Suleika Shyamalan. I apologize if I mispronounced that, but yeah, as I do want to ask you, what did you think of the music in this? It's like it soundtrack.
It went over my head. I'm not gonna lie.
It's weird because I know that people are like, come on, this is kind of just a movie to promote his daughter's music. And honestly, some of it like the opening one in the titles, that was a good song. It sounded like something that I'd already heard before. Yeah. But that's both a backhanded compliment and a compliment, I guess.
As long as you're happy.
I think that I could see a career for that person.
Yeah,
there's so many pop artists out there in the world, and none of the music was outright bad. Could you imagine if the music was deliberately bad in this? It would be so off.
It would take away from the movie itself.
Yeah.
But I love the relationship between the daughter and father.
I did too.
Yeah. Throughout the entire movie. Because when he casually just mentions where he feels like he's living a double life towards his wife as well, you definitely felt him balancing being a father, a family man, and just that one part, and the other part is just like him satisfying his serial killer.
No, because there's a part where he walks off into the bathroom and he's just staring at his phone. He's like, haha,
he's like, oh yeah, I got him. And I'm like, whoa.
But then he'll go back, and then he has a really good relationship with his daughter.
Oh, when his daughter's friend's mom is saying that's fine, it's just girl things, and he's just like, you know what do we just all hang out with us and that.
The way that, because he's getting frustrated with it, the way that he delivers this one line to her, where, what did he say? It was something along the lines of, that really upset me, in the way that he said
because it's he doesn't care, but at the same time he cares for his daughter, but he just wants to get it done and not get trapped.
No, and that's, so I noticed that I was wondering, in terms of, I'm not going to get into plot holes. There's plot convenience in this for sure. There's some stuff that the movie needs to happen for the sake of it happening. Yeah. And one of the most, you can tell that he has this ego, specifically because of the scene where he walks into them literally prepping with the SWAT team in the concert venue. And then he's like, I'm looking for the coffee. And then there's where do you keep the sugar? And he just so happens to find it.
Not even that, though. Whenever he grabs the apron.
Yeah.
After dumping the oil, and he's gets the wallet and everything, that's also convenient as well to move the plot forward. I don't know, when those type of plot conveniences happen in movies, it doesn't really bother me unless the story itself is already compelling.
It has
for me to
the way in which it bothers me is only when characters do stuff for the sake of the plot, and that doesn't happen in this movie. Everybody feels like they're kind of acting out of impulse, which I really like. Whenever, I feel like it kind of transitions, obviously this movie's inspired by Psycho, because it transitions into Shyamalan's daughter's perspective for a while. Yes. I agree with you, that's that transition, and while I liked her performance, I liked that brief section. Yes. I wouldn't say it lost me, it was just kind of I kind of want to see Josh Hartnett again, wherever he just went. Yeah.
And I don't know, I think that the fact that you didn't really see him you didn't see his true self, you would say, until the very end of the movie when he confronts his wife.
Right.
Because everything around it is just him trying to hide himself until the very end where he truly shows how he is and who he is. Because it felt like in the very beginning of the movie he felt like just a regular average guy, but I felt like throughout from the very beginning till the very end he got bigger. I didn't know how big he was.
The physical performance of him is important because he's gigantic. He's 6'3". I saw a meme that was the scariest part of Trap is the fact that imagine being a teenage girl and stuck behind Josh Hartnett while you're at a concert. Yeah. Like how we were at Kendrick Lamar and that
one guy who was 7 foot
tall,
and he was probably 300 pounds and he was just I
was like, man, you do not need to be up here.
Go to the back, please. Sir.
I do want to say though, talking about the perspective of them down there at the bottom, one line I really liked was whenever she was like, come hang out with us, we're in this row.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
He says something later along the lines of, he's like, we don't need to go back there. And he was I thought that was really funny.
I love when the daughter got chosen as the dreamer girl.
Oh yeah.
And then her friend going
got really mad at her mom.
I don't know why that was funny.
Someone said, I saw a tweet about this, that they said that they thought that you could feel as if M. Night Shyamalan based that off of a person he must actually know and really hate. Because it did feel really real. Yeah. Because you know how somebody just gets on your nerves and
what?
I just wanted to see what you'd say. But just that sort of lived in reality of writing.
Yeah.
Another thing though, speaking of that character,
which one?
The mom, like the annoying mom, makes me want to lead into talking about the camera choices in this movie. This is shot on film. This feels big. It feels like a big movie, even if it is independent.
Yes.
Because of the whole thing, I don't like how Shyamalan's career has made him feel as if like he's excluded from Hollywood, and he has to literally run his own production studio to get his movies made.
That's insane.
Yeah, and that bothers me because, I mean, this is gonna be like a hit, I think, because the concept's great. And even if people walk out of it not really having liked it, I think a lot of people have seen it at least.
Yes.
And
I think a lot of people will enjoy everything when it comes to the arena aspect.
Yeah.
I think people will be lost at like the second half, let's say. Just because when everything starts to feel like, okay, now Josh Hartnett is truly like the bad guy in the movie. Yeah. Because it feels like in the very beginning, he's a serial killer, yes. But like the antagonist in the first half is just like the FBI, the police, and him trying to escape. Because
he really is the actual antagonist of this movie. Yes. But then you do genuinely feel that towards the second half.
Yes.
One of my complaints, before I get into that, but with the camera stuff, still, something I noticed, and he said that this was also intentional, every single character he talks to that he gets information out of is deliberately in the middle of the frame. And like there's this thing called depth of field where it's all hazy in the back, and for some reason they're just in the middle. And I read Shyamalan's explanation for it, which he didn't even really need to explain because I knew what he was going for, was that he is zeroed in on this person.
That's what I figured.
And what they're saying. And every time he's off kilter, because I noticed they did the shot a lot, I figured there had to be some sort of language to it, is when his face is like cut in half and he's off the center.
Oh yes, like that one point where he's up backstage with his daughter.
Right. Yeah.
And like you see like the profiler from the FBI. Like that one shot. I don't know what that shot's called, but
that is called. I know what you're talking about because I love that he did it quite a few times. That's a difficult camera trick to pull off. It's called a split diopter shot, where you take two lenses and you make it kind of look like, some people do it practically, some people do it like digitally, where you shoot two things to make it look like one large expansive shot, and people usually do that. That's sort of a throwback to De Palma types of movies, because this is one of those, it feels like it's from the 90s. It feels like one of those 90s sort of paranoia movies where you're like trying to get out of a situation. I don't know if you ever saw Blowout with
Sorry.
Okay, well, that movie's amazing. It's amazing, and it has the same sort of like...
Blowout.
Yeah. Blow what? That's like whenever I heard of the movie Deep Throat. I was like...
What?
Favorite movie?
No.
That's Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I love how this movie looks.
Yes.
I don't know if it was shot on 35 or whatever, but that extra grain that sort of makes it feel more depth perception heavy, because there's a shot that I love where the concert is happening and she's talking about how let all your feelings go and turn your flashlights on, and the way like it feels,
it like turns around and all.
Yeah, I thought it felt so expansive, and
it just didn't feel, I don't know, it's what you said too, where I feel like M. Night Shyamalan's movies, they don't feel independent or indie. They don't feel small anymore. And especially with his storytelling, Knock at the Cabin didn't feel small as well. And I think a lot of his movies alone, like, they're enough to where everyone is capable of going to the theater and, like, watching his movies.
Yeah.
And it's not like a selective, like, run.
No, and that's cool, because I like that he's able to release that himself. I do think, I don't know if you ever saw The Visit, that found footage movie.
Visit, that sounds familiar.
I'm not gonna ruin the twist in that if you haven't seen it, because it's insane.
Okay,
but I think that movie's great, and that was his pivot in his career back into whenever you're like, is M. Night Shyamalan back? And then another movie comes out and they say, is M. Night Shyamalan back? And you're like, dude, just accept that, like, he made Split and it was amazing. Yes. And when you really think about it, like, lay out how his movies are budgeted in your head and how they are, Split takes place in like 2 locations.
Yeah.
And Glass felt big, and I will defend that movie. I really like it. I thought the ending of that was intentionally underwhelming, and I liked that about it. And
I do, yeah, I also liked Glass.
Yeah, did we? No,
I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah, I don't think we reviewed. I really like that movie.
Yeah,
and
there's 3. Yeah, it was Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable in that one. And then, okay, but I will defend his choices that make sense to me.
Yes,
because I'm not going to defend The Happening or. I personally love The Village.
Yeah,
and
I haven't seen The Village.
I really like Lady in the Water, but I don't know if you've seen that one either. Okay. You know what sucks though?
What?
After Earth.
Yeah, that is true. That movie's bad.
Like, it's so weird to have a director that's made 2 or 3 of the best movies ever made, 2 or 3 of the worst movies ever made, and everything somewhere between.
Nice.
Great job. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that was terrible.
I'm blaming you for that. But in terms of flaws,
Davio.
No, not Dab. In terms of flaws,
yes,
I don't think this movie's flawless. As much as I thought, as much as I loved being in this world. I loved it being in the perspective of Josh Hartnett. I think it's hard to excuse the amount of flaws this movie has. And I don't know if that's how you felt.
I don't think it has a lot of flaws. I don't know how many flaws you have.
Yeah.
I did see some flaws with me where I'm like, it felt like it was missing a few things for me.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think it's just the perspective, first off. Because for the longest time, I was very interested in just seeing how, like, us following the serial killer and seeing how he would just escape through all of this.
Right.
But then, of course, he became the antagonist himself.
Yeah.
And I thought, to me, it lost me because now it made me start caring about these other characters where I had little to no idea what they were. You're only just going by, like, okay, they're just trying to be good, like, people throughout the movie. But I was following Josh Hartnett's character throughout the entire, like, the first half of the movie. So that's where I'm just like, it kind of lost me.
Are you talking about the Shyamalan character?
Character, the wife as well. Yeah. And I don't know, I love the relationship with the daughter too, and I wish she also had more to say and do.
Her thing at the end where she, like, hugs him and walks away, I thought that, I don't know if...
It brought me back a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that was at the very end, and they were just taken away. And I'm like, oh, dang. And so then now you're just following Josh Hartnett, just like him basically, it's like, it was like Scooby-Doo, where all the times he would, like, escape or get away with it. I'm like, it just felt like Scooby-Doo.
The amount of times that it happens, he's never directly looking at the camera, but he might as well be. And one of my favorite ones was this one where he's on the rooftop and then he looks, like, kind of at the camera and he smiles and he's like, ha, and then, like, walks away. Like, I just like this idea that he loves the fact that he's getting away with it, and he just keeps fucking doing it. There was the one that I was just like, are you kidding me? Was the one in the limousine, and then you can see him in the crowd already.
Yes.
And I was like, that's fucking funny. Because
I'm just like, how did he do that? Everyone was around him.
No, it reminded me of, did he do the Winter Soldier thing where he, like, did the...
oh, man.
Did he shovel out of there? Like, that's... I don't know if you said Scooby-Doo. That's like Looney Tunes shit.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It was just very cartoonish sometimes, but I didn't hate it or anything. I was just like, whoa. I just did not expect that.
We are huge proponents of arguing for things being over the top on here.
Yes.
And I like that kind of over the top. The one thing, admittedly, it's hypocritical of me to say this because I didn't mind that he exited the arena. Would I have liked to have seen a full movie of that? Yeah. But I don't think it hurt me in the way that In a Violent Nature did, where I thought that full pivot to something else was just not the way to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Because at least with this, when it did it, I wasn't just completely off board. I was like, he's still there. This is still the movie. It's not like they shifted perspective fully. Like, even if he's not within the scene, his presence is there. You can hear him in the background. And I like that idea of danger still coming from him. I do kind of wish,
but it happened too many times.
And
I think that's what it is. But he did mention, though, when he was talking, I think that at the very end of the movie, another important thing was just like him confronting his wife,
right?
And he was just explaining more and more, just like how he thought, like at first he thought the arena itself was a trap.
Yeah.
Then he said, like, that wasn't the trap. The trap was his house. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I think it's just when you do that too many times, where it's just like actually the whole time. And whenever they reveal that, I guess that the singer's in on it, because I don't know if that's not information you're supposed to know.
I think it was casually mentioned because I think I was okay with it because she went to like the operating room with the profiler and saying like, did we catch him yet?
Yeah, that's whenever I was like, oh, so she's
in it.
Yeah.
Right? But I guess like we just didn't know how much like she knew.
Yeah.
But then she casually just started saying things that would trigger him.
Oh, the whole mom thing?
The mom thing.
That was a concept I liked the idea for. I liked it.
Yeah. I actually liked it when she did it, and I liked it at the very end too. Where you think it's her mom, like, you know, like him thinking it's its mom, but really it's a profiler saying that stuff. I
just think if you're going to introduce the mom issue thing, maybe expand more on it. This movie's not that long.
It's not.
Yeah. But I was like, look, if you're going to do this right now, like right here, like, can you give me a flashback or something to...
I don't think I needed a flashback. It's just more... I needed to see more of Josh Hartnett's character.
Yeah.
Basically.
It felt just so... I don't need the explanation for why he does what he does either.
Also the wife.
Yeah.
I feel like the wife could have said so much more or done so much more too. Just because it felt so fast of knowing what she did at the end.
I think she was in denial that he'd ever done it in the first place because
she found that receipt
at
one of his houses. Because whenever he starts talking about like how they had like 12 bodies and everything, and I'm like, dang, where does he find the time to do all that with like being a family man and then being a fireman?
You're getting stressed out for him. You're like, you can't be balancing killing people and being a firefighter.
It doesn't make sense.
And running a successful family with 2 kids.
It doesn't make sense. It's like you'd be staying up all night.
Yeah.
Just to like fulfill your pleasures. And then the wife is going to be thinking, like, where are you? What are you doing?
Like, but the thing is, I think you can get away with that with, like, firefighter stuff, right? Because there's one person we can ask.
Possibly, but it's like, I don't know.
I thought that was funny that was his job. I don't know why I thought that was funny. But
I can't get over the fact that his presence alone got bigger and bigger throughout the movie.
Well, I think it's because the camera angle starts changing because... At first, when you first see him,
he's very
it's just like, and he's doing the whole, you know, I'm a goofy dad, and is he 46 or 47? I don't know.
He's zaddy.
People keep, I really like Kid Cudi in this, in the one scene that he's in.
Like 2 scenes.
Yeah. And
then Russ, even though I don't listen to Russ.
I don't listen to Russ either.
I'm like, is that Russ? Me knowing nothing about Russ whatsoever.
No, it's like whenever you see somebody do a cameo, and you're like, I know who that is, but I can't remember the last time that happened to me where I was like, I don't care that they're in this.
that was me with Russ.
Yeah. Never mind. I can't spoil it on here if people haven't seen it. I'm not going to get into that.
What is it?
I don't
Wait, tell me.
Dude, I can't tell you.
Tell me.
No, we'll do it later. You'll know who I'm talking about, but he's been doing a lot of cameos lately.
I know who.
Okay.
Wait. From Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He's been doing. I think
he does cameos like all the time.
That's basically his career right now.
Yeah. Not till Blink Twice comes out.
And I'm super excited for that.
I can't wait to see what happens.
I think that I saw a trailer that showed way too much, and I got mad.
Oh crap!
So avoid that if you can. But in terms of the flaws with that, I just didn't fully get the concept of introducing the mom issue thing if they weren't going to explore it more. That was one of my bigger things about this. And I agree with you about the transition into the third act with Shyamalan's daughter. I liked the idea. I did.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah. But I think it's just some of the more... As much as I like his dialogue quirks and some of his weird plot conveniences, I do think some of his narrative structure is a little bit rusty sometimes because his idea to try and include something in the third act that is so thought-provoking or so this is why he does this the whole time.
Yeah.
I really liked the payoff, though, which is weird to have to say in contrast. It's why you can accept a flaw but then also have a positive from the same thing. When he tells someone... I finally felt something, and I really liked that when he was saying that he had genuine anger towards his wife, and he was like, I've never felt that before.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what the heck? You actually felt? I don't know. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was like, this big hunky man gonna attack me.
People do like Josh Hartnett a lot.
I didn't know he was a heartthrob.
Yeah, 90s. He was in a bunch of. I was
looking at like a bunch of his stuff. I was like, oh dang, he was in all this.
No, because we're obviously telling on ourselves here that we're not, super old. Yeah. Because I kept hearing, oh, he's back. I was like, Josh Hartnett from what? He was in Oppenheimer last year. And then I saw that he had
good looking hair, and I loved his suit.
Oh yeah, he very much looked like a 90s heartthrob. That's what he looked like. And now he looks. People compared him to Leonardo DiCaprio when he was younger, and I see it in the older way too. Actually, I don't know if it's the hair or.
I think so.
Yeah. What are your other flaws with this? Do you have any?
I guess I would just like to see more of the profiler, because I think just her convenience of her just knowing, like they just briefly talked about it where it's like she's caught like all these other serial killers before and she knows what she's doing, and I'm like, dang, who is she though?
No, they're like, she caught 10 of them. I liked her voice a lot. I liked her exposition where she was like, this man will avoid you.
He'll try to do anything. He'll pull the fire alarm. Him right next to the fire alarm.
Like, damn it, she got me.
It just felt Scooby Doo.
Yeah, that was.
It's like Scooby Doo, but like you're following the bad guy the entire time.
No, I thought that was really funny.
It's like you hear Velma in the background.
He's like, he's over here. He's like, fuck.
I have to go the other way now.
I will say the one part I also busted out laughing at is whenever he steals the intercom system. Oh. And he's listening and he's dancing like while he's listening. I thought that was hilarious. But what I picked up on
the tattoo thing.
Oh yeah.
Got it. He's like, we did it.
He's so close at all points of being like staring at the camera, like, I got them.
Maybe I actually like this movie more.
I really, genuinely, I think this movie knows what it is.
Yes.
I think it has a sense of humor that not everybody will fully get that it has.
Yeah.
But I loved that about it. Mm-hmm. I don't love everything about it, but genuinely, I could watch it. It is pure. I could watch this again and again.
Oh, yes.
It has like this pure kind of entertainment value to it. You're like, this is insane. And then,
it's one of those like dad movies, I would say, where if I was just like watching my son and like I see him watching this movie, I would like stop and be like, oh, what?
Oh, you stand there for an hour and a half?
Yeah.
And then my dad goes, I know the ending to this already. This is so predictable.
And then the ending happens, like, I did not expect that.
Did you expect the ending to this?
No, honestly, I didn't. I just thought he was like, finally, he got caught.
Dude.
And then he started smiling, and I was like, damn, he got away with it.
No, genuinely, at the very last shot, I was like, damn, he did get trapped. But
dang, they really knocked at the cabin. Oh.
It's a sign. But then my sixth sense was telling me that he was like, he's gonna get out of this somehow, and he's unbreakable. And
I split.
No, and then he got up and split. And then when the credits hit, but the ending, I was like, what fucking way,
dude?
Because they don't show it at first.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm gonna complain about this really quick. The guy next to me kept explaining the movie to his wife the whole time.
You're watching it,
dude. You know the part where he walks into the kitchen and then like it focuses on the teapot because obviously it's going to like show his reflection. Mm-hmm. While they were focusing in on it, the moment it cut to it, he was like, it's going to show his reflection in the teapot. And I was like, you jackass. Yes, it is. I don't even remember if it did or not. But then later on, while he was fixing the bike, and it was like the last shot of the movie, out loud, he was like, he stole the bicycle wire.
I can't. How old were they?
Like, I don't know. He looked like if I'm profiling him.
Nice.
He was wearing like the...
He's going to pull a fire alarm.
He was wearing a Columbia like fishing shirt, and he looked older. He had gray hair. He looked 50, I think. He's the type of person that probably has kids or something. Yeah. Because what I will say is the way he sat back in his chair, he went like the credits dimmed and his wife was still on his phone, and then he like did that to get her off of it, and she kept getting on it. I'm just saying.
He's like, I agree with the husband.
I'm not going back to Cinemark, man. I like, as much as I used to.
Oh, that's what you were complaining about?
Yeah, as much as I used to dog on Alamo, like, at least the trailers are number one, 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
And not 40. And not with 20 minutes of commercials. And,
damn.
Dude, 20. I counted. But they also intersperse them. Like, I don't know. That ruins the experience to me. It makes it feel like I'm just watching TV before. Yeah. And that's a separate thing, I think. But yeah, that's what I was complaining about. And then
Daniel hates Cinemark?
No, but then he went, here we go. And then,
okay, that's
like,
pretty funny.
I was like, and then the movie started.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know.
All right.
Overall, do you have any more positives to say about this?
No, not really.
No?
I think I already said everything.
Yeah.
For sure, Josh Hartnett, he's like the star.
I want to get across that he's like, amazing in this.
He does a great job in like portraying a serial killer, because we talked about it earlier too.
Yeah.
Where it's just the way he expresses himself, and like you can tell when he's putting on his fake persona.
Yeah.
And then him like being intentional, and like he's just like really angry and like feeling threatened.
Yeah. The facial tics he has, there is something, we talked about this right before we started recording, this dead eye thing he does where he's emoting with his mouth but not with his eyes.
Yes.
And I think that takes a lot of talent to be able to pull that off.
I don't know if he like trained himself, because it just felt like his entire time like his eyes didn't. You know, people move. I don't know why. It's weird. Like people can you can tell a lot by a person based off their eyes too.
You can tell when somebody's disassociating when and
it just felt like there was just nothing in his eyes each time, like especially when they do that shot that you were talking about where it's just like you're focused on him. And it just felt like I was lost.
The best shot, I think, in the movie, there's a few, but I think that this movie, it advertised too much. I saw that trailer once, thankfully. I think that trailer shows too much, admittedly. But it's this one where the other best character in this movie, Jamie, the t-shirt man.
Bro, he was barely in it. He's like 5 minutes.
I thought he was really funny. It left a really strong impact on me. Because I like whenever he's like, wow, you're strong.
Okay, yeah. Every time you say moments like that, I'm like, yeah, that was kind of funny. I remember chuckling.
No, like, I don't know why. Like I told you, the one where he's like, I'm going to get you that shirt because you're a good family with great values. And it's
like, nice.
Why the fuck did he say that?
He was just happy.
Yeah, he was happy to be there. And then I was like, can I let you in it? When he was like, wow, there are so many police around here. He's like, I've been following this guy. I will say the after credit scene, that was like really nice payoff. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
And that's how I think that if people go into this, if you don't like it, I get it. It's one of those where I'm like, I understand.
I don't think you should expect much, to be honest, when watching this movie.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And if you expect something from Shyamalan, based off his other work, I wouldn't do that. I would just expect to go into a movie following, like, just what the trailer sold you, where it's just the premise of him being trapped and trying to see how the serial killer gets away with it.
If you somehow got through our whole review and don't mind the spoilers, I will say I highly recommend it. Yeah. I think that
I recommend watching this movie. I don't think it's one of those movies too, to be honest. Or I mean, don't get me wrong, I think you should watch a movie in theaters all the time. Yeah. But it's not something where I would say go watch in theaters right away.
I think that it's, if you were to, you know, people say like, oh, go watch it at matinee price or something. It is the ideal Sunday afternoon type of movie where
discount Tuesdays.
Yeah, like if a ticket costs like $6, like $7, I think that's
that's
ideal.
worth it. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we get ours for $2, so
yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I do want to say 2 more shots. My favorite one is the one where he like smiles and then shifts and gets like really upset.
Oh, yeah.
While he's talking to that guy.
Yeah.
And there's another one that I thought was great because of what it meant. Was whenever his daughter's on stage dancing, there is a huge panel of, like, you know, concerts show the projector. Yes. Where the star is Lady Raven. Yes. Is like huge on the screen, and he's to the lower right. And I thought that was like a really good encapsulation of hiding in broad daylight. I thought that was brilliant. Also,
that's a good example. Yeah.
Weird thing in this movie, why did that concert take place at like 1 p.m.? But
must be nice.
Yeah, they're all at a concert like that. Like, that's staged like a K-pop concert, or like Taylor Swift's Eras tour, which is...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they have to have the breaks in between for the costume changes. Yeah. because I did want a story explanation for that. I was like, dude, I would not leave a concert venue this much.
Yeah, that was weird. It's like, it's just having a break, and I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, no, that would stress me. I'd like, dude, you keep leaving. This is like only an hour and a half.
Dad, why do you keep leaving?
Yeah, you're like, you're acting weird, Dad. He's like,
hey, look at that. We should go there.
We should go down there. Wouldn't that be cool?
You're like, no, I'm here for the concert, Dad.
That I know we said it already, but I think that's brilliant. That he's like so weird that, but like the dialogue makes sense because you're like, he's just being desperate at a point. But overall, I really liked this movie quite a bit.
I liked it.
Yeah. What's your score?
4 out of 5.
Dude, I had been debating a lot.
I was thinking 4.5 out of 5.
That's really high.
Yeah, but then I was like, no, I think 4 out of 5 because I genuinely I had fun with it. And I really.
I was torn between 3 and somewhere. I was torn somewhere between 3.5 and 4. Yeah. The 3.5 only because I did love watching this. Yeah. But.
I want to watch it again. That's why I gave it a 4 because I was like, I would, if I was asked to watch this again, I would say yes. But
then I kept thinking about it. I was like, but I loved so much about it. I was like, just because something, like I told you, I think a movie like, let's say, Cloud Atlas is one of my favorite movies ever made, but it's also heavily flawed. And I gave it 5 stars still. I think that's okay to do that. Yeah. I did end up also giving this 4 stars as well. I do highly recommend it. If you can get past the absurdity of some things, if you're one of those people that's like, I need this to make sense all the time and be like factual, matter-of-fact storytelling.
How can you watch anything at that point? Because you can always find something.
People are conditioned by the world of cinema sins, so...
Whoa! I have no thoughts nor opinions about cinema sins. Okay. Gotta make that clear. So if they want to collab.
I don't want to.
Why? You wouldn't want to argue with them?
No.
Why? That'd be fun. I want to argue.
Be like, the world didn't actually end in 2012, so they did everything wrong with 2012.
Just repeat everything I've ever said in like a Cinema Sins video back at them. Well, what are you?
Oh, trust me, I used to hear people repeat things from the Cinema Sins videos all the time.
Daniel doesn't like them.
Don't watch The Avengers with a kid that loves YouTube. Sorry. Okay, so there was a kid that when I was in high school, I had to go to like...
It's story time, guys.
I had to go to one of those like events for, the group, you're in band or whatever, and you got to go hang out with your people that you're like in band with or whatever.
Like disabilities?
No.
Oh.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Like... I played trumpet, and then someone else played trumpet also.
Sorry. Okay.
And so we had to go to this like guy's party if we all played the trumpet, and then when they were showing the Avengers, okay, and then this guy kept citing.
Oh wait, I heard the story before.
The Cinema Sins video over and over and over. Yeah. I hate that.
Or that guy.
I don't really remember the guy himself. I just remember.
You want to call him out?
I don't.
You remember the name?
I do, but I'm not
I knew it. I knew it.
Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for listening and watching. What are they gonna do?
They're gonna like, comment, and subscribe.
Please do. What did you think of Trap? What do you think of M. Night Shyamalan? We're going to have a review up next for you of. Admittedly, it is super late. The Boys.
The Boys.
Season 4.
Are we trapped?
Are we?
No.
In an endless cycle where
it's unbreakable. Glass.
Did we miss any? I don't know. I gotta go to the village.
I really am the last airbender.
I don't know. We'll talk about it after Earth. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.